Take two. Let's start all over. So here I am again. I know you don't know that, but I just had technical difficulties, so I'm starting all over. So today I'm gonna give you a haul video from a antique store that I went to in Waynesboro, Pennsylvania, which is kind of in the Crazy Lamp Lady's area that she goes to, but I don't know that she's ever gone to this one. It's called Penmar Antique Mall. It used to be a skating rink. So if you guys know where that is, if you can pass the word on to her, I think she'll like this antique mall. The Goodwill across the street, horrible. She can't, no, she's not going to find anything there. But at the antique mall, she will. And I'm going to give you a little preview of some of the stuff that I've got there. So the first thing up is this little cast iron lizard or salamander. I paid $2 for him. I think I have it listed for 20 or 25, something like that. Keywords that I used were things like mystical, fairy, goblin, witchy, stuff like that. Anything that would make you think of like fairy tales and enchanted forests and things like that. Those are the kind of keywords that I've used for that. I did it with the snail too, and the snail sold right away. Okay, the next thing is a piece of Murano glass. I am a sucker for Murano, and I'm starting to think I'm overpaying for it, but I don't care, okay? So if it sells, it sells. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I really like this one. I love this blue. It's a ashtray, which may slow the sales down, but it's, you know, Murano's, this kind of Murano is so heavy. And this one's obvious an ashtray. Sometimes these little divots here for the cigarettes, this one's big enough for a cigar, aren't so obvious. You know, they're more rounded or kind of, so it could be a bowl or an ashtray. But I think with the way that these are in there, they're very obviously for ashtray. And this one has, I think they call it casing. So if you look, you can see the clear around it. But I just love this blue. And I love the way that it's like a starburst, kind of a pattern in the way that it's blown. And you can see the bottom of it is shiny. There's some scratches on it from age and wear, but I paid $30 for this. I only have it listed for $60. I'll be happy if I can double my money because I don't think I'm going to get $90 for it. I really don't. So, but yeah, like I said, I'm a sucker for Murano. Now this next, it's actually two pieces. I'm selling them together. So it's a hair receiver and a trinket dish. These are Noritake. It was $5 for the pair, okay? And interestingly, these lids, you have to put the right lid on the right, even though they look the same, they don't fit the same for some reason. Now, you can see this is all hand-painted, little like landscape with the tree and whatnot. And this is the hair receiver. And you know it's a hair receiver if you've never heard of it, because it has the hole. So back in the day, when ladies would brush their hair, they would take the hair out of the brush and they would put it through the little hole there, and they would collect their hair in there in these little dishes. And that sounds disgusting to some of us. Not me, I'm a hairdresser. But what they would do is when they got enough hair, they would use them to make rats. They would call them rats. So they're like fillers. So if they wanted a poofy spot or a spot that maybe wasn't filled in as good, they would use them to help build up their natural hair. And of course they're using their natural hair, so it's going to match, right? Nowadays, you know, if you're going to use something like this, you could put cotton balls in there, you know, and they would just pull them out this way, something along those lines. I personally don't know that I would use this because this is old. Okay, and the truth is hair receivers really aren't that popular right now, but I think that, I guess it should go this way, right? I think that if we start using some of the core words, you know, like one of the big one right now is Barbie core because the movie's coming out, but things like granny core, cottage core, those things might come out. How about boudoir? And that's a word that I'm using with this, boudoir, because it's romantic, right? But here's something, I didn't notice it. Now, I paid $5 for the two of them. But, you know, the way the tags were, I did not see, I don't know if you can see it, there's a crack. All the way across this dish was broken. But they did repair it, and they did a pretty good job repairing it. And you know, for something, this is probably almost 100 years old, if not 100 years old. So, we'll see. But I think we need to start bringing back those hair receivers. So, pass the word along. Got a couple little doggies. This one, the first one, I think he's supposed to be black and brown, a little beagle. He's got his tongue out and kind of wide-eyed. And I just thought he was so cute. He is crazing. He's old. He's got some crazing. I can't, can you see that? I don't know what that mark is, so I don't know where he was made, but I did take a picture of this mark when I listed him. He was probably only like maybe $2-3, something like that. I didn't pay a lot of money for him. And I used the word anthropomorphic because of the facial expression on him. I just thought he was so cute. But I think he's supposed to be black, but for some reason that looks kind of bluish green to me. But I put it down as black because I think that's what it's supposed to be. A little beagle. Put him down as a beagle or hound dog. Now, here we go. Here's a goof. Here's a goof. I bought this guy. I just think he's so sweet. I love the ribbon. And I love his face. Like, he just looks like such a sweet guy, right? And you know he's old. Like, look at the crazing on this one. It's so old that it's got colors in it, right? Right? And I looked at the bottom. I couldn't find a mark. You know, I couldn't find any kind of mark here. But what I didn't see, and he's crazed, like, all over. The entire surface is crazed. There's two things. I didn't see that. See that crack right there? And, interestingly, when I got home and started going through everything, I looked in here and I saw the crack. Well, it's not like it's not hard to see. You can see it there. Something hit it. And I didn't do it in transportation. I know that because the crack goes all the way up into here and it's dirty. So I did not notice that in the store. Of course, I'm going to have to, I haven't listed it because it broke my heart. But I'm going to go ahead and list it, and I'll put the crack, you know, the fact that he's been damaged in the listing. But see, I'm afraid to ship him now because he's very weak and compromised. I don't know. I'll have to think about that one. Now, this next piece that I got, I think I paid probably about $5 for these. They came as a pair. These are alabaster, pink, and they're fruit. And you know what these are? These are pin dishes. So I'm selling them as a pair for somebody who sews as a hobby, which is something that's coming back. You know, the millennials are bringing back these old, I'm using really terrible words to describe it. They're bringing back things that when I was in school were traditionally taught to girls in home ec or by their grandmas and so on and so forth. So they're starting to learn to sew. They're learning to crochet. They're learning to knit, which we were afraid that the knitting and crocheting was going to be a lost skill when I was, you know, raising my children. So I'm happy to see that the younger people are learning to do those traditional creative processes for clothing and accessories and things. But the other thing is, you know, people's imaginations. A lot of these young people are taking thrifted clothing and repurposing them. They're making them into another piece of clothing, or they're shredding them and making them into other things. You know, you can use old t-shirts to make a rug, or to make you know, knitted or crocheted baskets. I've made a rug out of some of Ray's old t-shirts. It was very heavy too, let me tell you, like when it came time to wash it. Yeah. And I used a big fat needle. But you know, my point is that some of the younger people are really getting very creative. And so I'm thinking that they may want something like this, which is traditional. But, you know, these are used, okay? So there's some chipping along here. There's a pretty big chip right there. These are something that somebody actively used. I guess this goes this way. Actively used in their sewing room in front of their sewing machine. And so to me, these chips are part of the charm in this particular case. Now I'm going to show you something else, and it's not so much the charm. So I got this little candle. This is a ceramic candle, and I just thought it was really pretty. It's unused. It is unmarked. Well, I say that. It does say it says copyright 2000 SH, whatever that means. but I paid $2 for it. I think it's contemporary. You know, it's not old. And I know that this was not the case in the store because I deliberately checked. But you see that? There's a broken pedal there. Now, I know that this happened in transit and it's not anybody's fault particularly. Things like this happen sometimes, and these little pedals are very fragile. The antique store where I bought these wrapped everything very, very carefully, packed it in a box. They really did a good job making sure that they did the best that they could to keep my things from getting damaged. So this is not the store's fault. It's not really my fault because I never took it out of the box. Once I got it out of the store, it stayed in the box in the trunk of the car until I got home. It's just, it happens sometimes. So it's a disappointment. I'm still going to go ahead and list it. I'll probably only list it for like maybe $10. I just think it's pretty. I love this lusterware, you know, and that's what I got. And I just love the colors. Like, this looks kind of Christmassy, Valentine's-y to me. And I think somebody will like it even with the little chip pedal. It's pretty. Okay. So then another thing that I got, and this is kind of deceptive. Let me tell you about this little piece. It only cost me, I think I paid $5 for it. It looks like some kind of a mallard duck. And it's hand painted. You can see, and the painting is really well done, right? Whoever did it did a really good job. But this little bad boy is heavy. It's a stone. It's actually carved stone. So you can see all the feathers. And then they went through and painted on additional feathers. And even like, look here, these little feathers here. Each one's carved out, and they painted in that. So I think this was really well made. I don't have an idea what the age is on it, and I don't see a signature or any kind of maker's mark. I thought I might have found a signature, but I don't think so. I can't remember what I listed it for, but this is one of those bread and butter pieces. I put it on there. So we'll see if hopefully somebody will like that. I put it in like man cave, outdoorsman, that kind of thing. Now this was $5 again. I don't think these are old. There's no mark on them, and I couldn't find anything that indicated there would be a mark on them. I'm selling these, I think, for like $30. One's pink, one's blue, and I just got them. You know why I got them? I thought they were pretty. I love the satin glass. And they just remind me of like old school. It's summertime right now, and people are making ice cream sundaes and looking for sweet treats and cool things to eat when it's really, really hot. So that's why I got those. I don't know if it was a good buy or not. I don't know, you know. Now, this is the one. This is the unicorn that I got. There was a clearance table. Look at this. Look at him. He's like falling asleep, isn't he? This is Bugs Bunny. It says couch potato. He's vintage. I think he's from like the 80s. Is there? It doesn't say on here, but it does say Warner Brothers Studio on it. I don't see any broken spots, anything missing. His ears look good. He's in really good shape. It doesn't look like he's had to be repaired or anything. I paid $10 for him. He's kind of heavy too. He's resin. I paid $10 on clearance. And when I did my comps, he's selling for about $130, $140. So, just saying. We know there's Bugs Bunny lovers out there. So, this is the unicorn. For $10? Yeah. Even if I get it $50, I've still satisfied my regulation. I'm not selling for $50, but I'm just saying. I like to make about 5 to 6 times what I paid for it. So that's my thrift haul, what's left that I haven't sold from the antique store. Please, if you know Jocelyn, tell her to go there. She's going to find some great things and some pretty good prices. Like lots of places, or lots of the booths. Well, I went right after 4th of July. So a lot of the booths had really good sales going on. Just saying. Let her know. Tell her Jenny sent you. And please subscribe. I have a goal. I'm trying to get to 2,000 subscribers. I've been working on this YouTube channel for so long, and I've been neglecting it for so long, etc., etc., back and forth. So I really want to get 2,000 subscribers. I'm not sure when. I just decided today that that's my goal, and I'm working hard on getting there. So if you could help me out, subscribe. Please share this with somebody if you think that they'll find it interesting. Give me a thumbs up if you like it. Ask me questions. Tell me what you're looking for. And if you're interested in anything that you saw that you really want to have, down in the description, I got my stores listed there. So go ahead and come visit me. Okay? Thanks so much, and I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.